Hello friends, today I'm doing something really exciting. So I filmed this a couple weeks ago, I think. This is my recent piece that I made for a very special Secret Santa. Me and a bunch of lovely artists in a group, we decided to do a little Secret Santa where we make each other a piece of art, and I thought that was the most lovely thing to be part of. And yeah, usually being part of Secret Santa, that's more of like a work thing, or I remember doing something maybe in college or university or something. So I remember doing it in school, definitely, but it's definitely something that's really difficult, especially because if you're part of like a workplace and the people don't really know you, mainly all you'll get is like the shampoo and like the shower sets and sometimes like alcohol or something, if there's like a limit to the cost. But I think if you and a bunch of people who are into similar things, or like the main thing for us was art, we're all into creative things, and I think what can go wrong? Like nothing. That's perfect. And yeah, it was amazing, and I had so much fun creating this piece. You saw me testing out some of the quick ideas. I wanted to do a fox because this person, before we did the Secret Santa, we each kind of like noted down what we like or anything specific. For me, myself, I didn't want to like give too many options or anything, because I like anything and I'd rather it be something that the Secret Santa person wanted to make that day, or I didn't want to put too much pressure on it. But then again, I think it kind of gives a better idea if you do give more specific things, and I think the person that I got is perfect because I love painting animals, as you know. It's like the main thing that I do. And yeah, when I saw that they liked foxes, I knew I had to do a fox painting. And so I came up with this idea. I noted down a couple of elements, especially because it's Christmas time, winter. I wanted to do a winter fox, and that's what I did. So I thought fox would be perfect with obviously the color of the fox is red and this orange, and it's very vibrant. So in my head I thought that would go perfectly with like blue, so I chose to do like blue flowers. I think I tried searching what flowers bloom in the winter to like give a little bit more of a symbolism, and I think there weren't many, and so I kind of had to settle for like the cornflowers. I feel like I've seen cornflowers often and usually they're dried. Am I right, or am I thinking about a different flower? But that's kind of like what I looked into. So I decided to do cornflowers because I thought the silhouette of them would fit. And I've done something similar to this, like just a head piece before, for the African wild dog piece that I painted. I'm not sure if I've got it up on this channel or not. If I don't, then I might still have some footage to post in the future. But it was a very special piece that I did in collaboration with other artists to show and like make a zine together from, obviously we're all from over the world, so it was a digital zine, and it was showing and showcasing animals who are endangered. So yeah, very special, very beautiful, and it was one of my favorite paintings. But I think this one has blown it out of the park for sure. I love this painting so much. And as you can see, the technique was I drew it digitally just because I wanted it to be you know, quick and easy. I didn't want to spend too much time messing up with the paper, because as you know, especially for watercolor papers, it's not gonna be the best if you erase on it. I think the oily texture from the rubber, or just like removing the top layers of the paper, it changes the texture when you come to paint on it. So I wanted to have a quick transfer, so all I did was use a graphite stick that I've had for absolute years, probably 10 plus years, and yeah, I just scribbled on the back, and then on the front I used like a hardy pen to draw on it. And then I went on to painting. It was a perfect sketch transfer, no issues at all. And then, yeah, I didn't know how to do the snowflake, so I left it till the end. But I actually, like, my boyfriend said it was his favorite part of the whole piece, the way that the snowflake looks. And I think that's lovely, because I really struggled and I wasn't sure if it'll turn out good. But yeah, here I'm watering the gouache set. This is what I do. I usually have my paint in a little palette already, all my gouache. Some of them I've mixed myself, some of them are the original colors from the tubes. And then I also got a couple of shades that I wanted to try out. This Prussian blue, I haven't had or tried this one yet, so I thought it would be a good idea. Then I had this red as well, and then a yellow, and I thought I'd try them out. And that Prussian blue is actually the best color, because I love a Prussian blue. I recently did, for the October series, which you can see my last video here where I do a tour, I did a monochrome piece of a pansy flower, and it was in Prussian blue, and it's one of the most beautiful colors, and it just mixed perfectly with this piece, like the flowers and everything else later on. Because for the watercolors, so after doing the sketch, I just filled in the basis with watercolor, just so that I've got something underneath that I can work off of. So my usual technique for painting animals is to start with the nose and the eyes, because those are the darkest parts of the face. And then I decided to do the white or the lightest parts of the fur, because again, I wasn't sure what techniques I'm going to be doing, but I really love the way that it turned out, and I'm going to have to make some more portraits like this. As you can see, I'm doing mainly just plain white, and I'm mixing in this like pinky purpley color, because I think it gives like a nice transition between the like colors, like maybe a highlight color or like some lighting, you know, difference coming in. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I just winged it. I didn't really use that much of a reference. The reference for the fox that I found was from Unsplash, which is a copyright-free site where you can take images and use them as you like. Not sponsored, of course, but it's my favorite site, and I always use it for my references, because then I don't have to worry about copyright or anything like that. So yeah, definitely check that out. I remember learning about Unsplash during university, and they really gave us many different sources of where to find images that you are free and welcome to use, and they're very high quality. So that's where I always look at, and it works. But yeah, I'm working on the ears now, and as you can see, it's a little bit messy, a little bit like not very thought out, because again, still exploring my methods of painting, and I feel like I don't really have a method of painting per se, and I just go with what feels right in the second or in the moment. And obviously I'm doing quite imaginative colors, so most of the time it's, you know, it's done by feeling. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I can kind of try and feel out the colors that I need in the piece, where I need a darker or a more saturated or a more toned down color, and that's kind of like how I go about it. I love painting hair. I used to absolutely loathe and like hate painting hair because I just couldn't do it. And I remember being way younger and drawing people, and like, because in my head, fur and hair are on very similar levels. And I remember just drawing hair, and most of the time I would only opt out to do straight hair because I just could not draw curls or waves or anything like that, because it just looked really, really silly. And then at some point I started to figure it out. I think I didn't really figure out how to draw hair properly until I think maybe when I was going through a little bit of a anime obsession phase, where I really wanted to draw anime style people and just learn the techniques, because that's most of the time what I do. I try and learn and adapt and do things differently when I get bored of something that I'm doing for a while. And yeah, to kind of like freshen up my skill set, I chose to do some anime. And I don't think until towards the end of my obsession with anime painting, I think that's when I started to evolve my hair methods. I used to watch a lot of like Hanakyu and watching all these absolutely incredibly skilled anime drawing and painting people. I learned so much from them, and Hanakyu is the one that stands out in my mind because I feel like her way of painting is just so incredible, and yeah, I loved it. Also, this was a big ups moment where the paintbrush just slipped out of my hand and I messed up the page. Like, the paper, it has marks from the orange paint. I tried to get it off slightly and it wouldn't come off, so then later on you'll see I kind of did some cover up and tried to cover up my mistake that happened. And I was so gutted. For a second I just stopped there and I had to think, what the hell am I gonna do now? How am I gonna cover these? I had an idea of doing like brush stroke marks or something along the side of it, but I then was like, you know what, I'll figure it out later. Let me just carry on painting, cool off, and think about the marks later. So when everything was already coming together, I decided I need to work on that snowflake. And what I did was I started with a watercolor base where I kind of blended out the corners, the sides, the edges a little bit, and like made it look like it's kind of glowing. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think it needs much because it's a snowflake, like it's not anything crazy. And so I then decided to just go in with my small little paintbrush and just color in the line work that I did before with just white. And white gouache is very interesting as well. I think sometimes if you water it down, it kind of picks up the layer from underneath and it kind of looks a little bit transparent. I don't know if it makes sense, but you can kind of see it where it's drying towards the like edges of the paint. You can see how it's becoming kind of translucent. It's showing more of the paint underneath, and I thought that was actually really pretty and I really enjoyed it. So recently I haven't been very motivated to do any art, and when I came about to making this piece, I remembered how much I love painting. This piece took me in between 2 days of painting for this, and I just, yeah, it's so good. Like, I love painting so much, and yeah, I'm so pleased with how this turned out. And yeah, my Secret Santa person, that no, the person that I was painting this for, I'm the Secret Santa in this case, and yeah, they seemed to love it, and I had some very, very nice comments on my Instagram, and yeah, I really appreciate all the love on this piece, because it definitely is something that sparked me to want to create more this Christmas. So for the flowers, I didn't really know what to do, because I kind of didn't want to make them look very realistic. I kind of wanted them to look a little bit like Frozen, if that makes sense. I don't know if I managed to do it the way that I pictured it, but I do actually really enjoy the final result. They're not too crazy, so they do stand out, but they're not like overwhelming where it just like kind of overshadows the fox, I think. Maybe maybe they do. They're a bit detailed, but other than that, I think they did turn out pretty wonderful. You can't forget the nose and the eye highlights. They definitely bring the piece together as a whole. And this little chin highlight, I think, just like made it look so good, and makes it stand out from the background. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So this method of painting with the brush strokes, I remember doing the heron piece where I did similar brush strokes, and I've really loved that technique. So I've been doing it a few times for the animal fur, because I think it just looks so cool the way it kind of blends together. And yeah, for the snowflake, I decided to blend the edges out even more. And then now I had to try and cover up the mistake that I made when I dropped my brush. So the reason why I dropped my brush is, I think, because I'm painting on like an elevated panel, so that I could see better, and because I've got a light right above the head, and if I have this piece laying completely flat on the table, the gouache picks up the light, so it reflects, and I can't really see very well. So I decided to do it on like a raised panel thing, and because my hand's not very steady on it, I just let go of the brush, and it's so annoying. And I think I managed to cover up my mistake pretty well. I don't think you would have been able to tell from seeing the final result. So then I also had to do the little whiskers and the little eyebrow hairs. I might have exaggerated a bit, but I really love doing these. I've been doing these type of whiskers for like cat drawings that I've been doing in the past and stuff, and I love having these like chunky little whiskers. The way that I did them was by drawing with a pencil first, just so that I could know where they need to go without like having to paint them straight away. and then I added in the stars, and yeah, I think it came out really really good. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was good to watch, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.